Hey there, folks. Welcome to the Jason Wright Show, Best of the Web. This is a series or an installment that I bring to you where I just kind of collect throughout the week those really good nuggets of wisdom and thought that I come across through my Instagram feed or predominantly my YouTube Shorts feed. And hopefully I can aggregate some of the ones that had the most profound impact on me throughout the week and that I plan to tuck away for future wisdom and knowledge and use. And I want to bring those to you. And this is a new segment. I hope that you find it beneficial. The first clip is going to be from billionaire investor Charlie Munger, author of Poor Charlie's Almanac and the longtime business partner of Warren Buffett. Now, if you know anything about Charlie Munger, you know he had a great sense of humor and he was just known for his homespun wisdom. That's what people loved about going to the Berkshire Hathaway annual meetings where he and Warren would actually get together on stage, take questions, and just kind of give advice not only on investing and money, also just on life. This was something that Charlie Munger loved to do, is to give out advice on things that didn't have to do at all with money, but just life in general. And in the clip that I'm going to bring you today, this has to do with something that I am really trying to do in my own life, which is to remove all toxic people. You and I should not feel obligated to spend time with people that do not add to our day, our knowledge, our value. You know, they say that we are the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. So why would you ever spend time with people who are toxic, people that bring you down, people that just, they're either long in the mouth or just down and out, or they're constantly negative, or they're always shooting down your ideas, whoever they are. And this can also extend to family members. I've got some family members that I've just had to make a conscious note to keep them away from me and spend only the minimal effective dose of time with them as possible, because I don't want any toxic people in my life. So check out what Charlie Munger has to say about getting rid of toxic people and why you should do it.
A great lesson of life is get them the hell out of your life.
Yeah.
And do it fast. Do it fast.
And I would add, with Charlie would totally agree with me, do it tactfully if possible too. But do get them out of your life.
So this next clip is from Ryan Holiday's Daily Stoic. So if you know anything about Ryan Holiday, you know that he has basically made a cottage industry out of Stoic philosophy. All the most prominent books on Stoic philosophy, or his Daily Stoic podcast it gets millions of downloads. He is the Stoic guy. And the thing I love about this clip that I found was that it talks about what the Stoics said that we should not do. We're constantly making to-do lists. It's all about the to-do list. Post-it notes has made a fortune for 3M off of to-do lists. But rarely we take the time to create a do not do list. I talked about this in a podcast probably last year sometime, where I talked about the importance of finding those things that you have to make a concrete decision to not do. And the Stoics adhered to this very, very carefully. There were things that they had determined in their life that they were not going to do. Like Charlie Munger said, one of those not to-do lists should be, don't hang out with toxic people. But these are 7 Stoic not to-dos that Ryan Holiday brought that I thought were absolutely valuable. So here are the 7 Stoic not to-dos.
7 Stoic don'ts, things you must stop doing right now, according to the Stoics. Don't be overheard complaining, not even to yourself, as Mark Aurelius says. Don't talk more than you listen. 2 ears, 1 mouth. That's Zeno. Don't tie your identity to things you own, because those things are fragile, because those things can be taken from you at any moment. Don't compare yourself to others. Comparison is the thief of joy. Don't suffer imagined troubles, as Seneca says. It'll either happen or it won't. Don't suffer before you need to. Remember, you mess up too, so don't judge other people. And finally, don't overindulge in food or drink. This is the idea of temperance. It's about balance. It's about the right amount. So those are 7 Stoic don'ts stop doing right now.
So for this next clip, I actually go to Ryan Holiday's mentor. Ryan Holiday has a mentor. I'm sure he has several, but one of his most notable ones is Robert Greene. Robert Greene is the author of The 48 Laws of Power, as well as many other perennial best-selling books. He is one of the best authors on philosophy, wisdom, and tactics for everyday life. I love Robert Greene's writing, and his books are dense. I mean, he is known for writing dense books that require a lot of time, a lot of thought. They're just fantastic. And so I thought it'd be perfect to include a quote that Robert Greene said is his favorite quote. I mean, if you ask a guy that's an author of all the things he's read, all the philosophy he's read, and the things that he's processed in his life, if you ask Robert Greene, what's your favorite quote? Kind of like asking Hemingway, what's your favorite quote? I mean, these are guys that we quote all the time. So to get their favorite quote, kind of a big deal. So whenever I came across this clip of Robert Greene, whenever he was asked on a podcast, what is his favorite quote, I had to include it because it has to do with this idea of complaining. People who complain are not positive people. It goes all the way back to that first clip. Those are some of the toxic people of all, because here's the deal. You know it and I know it. Misery loves company. And look, the bottom line is complaining about stuff just does not make anything better. It serves absolutely no utility value whatsoever. So don't do it. Don't complain.
What's your favorite quote?
I have one by the British Prime Minister Benjamin Disraeli from the 19th century, which was, never complain, never explain. And what it means is, don't complain about life. Don't explain what you're doing or why you're doing it. Just do it. By whining and complaining, all you're doing is making people think bad things about you, looking weak. You know, and when you complain a lot, you have a mindset where everything is kind of a potential complaint. Stop whining and stop explaining yourself and just do things in the world and let your actions speak for themselves.
So now I want to switch gears a little bit to health and wellness. So one of my favorite scientists that is on the interwebs all the time these days is Lane Norton. Lane is brilliant. He's bright. And here's what he's really, really good at. He's really good at giving the total utility value of research. Now, I don't know about you, but I cannot stand reading research papers from PubMed and JAMA and all these others. I leave that to guys like Peter Attia, Ben Greenfield, and Lane Norton, and Dr. Mike, who he's talking to in the conversation.
Siri, how do you pronounce
And the reason why it's
resveratrol?
important is because Lane will break down what the report and the research actually means, because a lot of times we will hear one little nugget from a report and then go run with it. Here's a great example. How many of you have started drinking red wine because you heard that resveratrol? I always butcher the name of that.
Resveratrol? Resveratrol.
Resveratrol will make you actually live longer. Well, it is true. Studies have shown that it does have an impact on longevity. The problem with that is you would have to consume so much wine to have a true impact that it would kind of defeat the purpose. And if you're somebody like me who just has decided to not drink alcohol at all, well, it kind of makes me think, well, crap, am I leaving something on the shelf that could really help me out with longevity? Well, if you look into the research, you'll find that you have to consume so much wine to actually get the benefits that really it doesn't make much sense. Now, somebody may argue with me on that. Somebody might say, hey, look, if you drink red wine, it does have the longevity effect because of the resveratrol. If I'm saying that right, again, I apologize. I always butcher that word. But that's what Lane Norton does. He's really good about calling BS on people who are promoting these things about you should never eat this because a study showed this. You know, you should never eat fructose because it is just as bad as regular sugar and it will kill you, make you die, and cause you to have type 2 diabetes. Well, what he will do, like there might be research that says that there is a correlation between eating too much fructose as well as in type 2 diabetes. But what Lane will go in and do is he'll look at all of the research. He will look at the participants. Was it a controlled study or was it not? And who were the participants? What was the lifestyle of the participants? And how many participants were there? What, all these different things to bring it out so that you and I can really use the research to make a solid decision. And this clip I thought was really great because if you just heard one little nugget of the research that he and Dr. Mike talk about, you might go out and start crushing McDonald's French fries to try to live longer. But Lane, as always, brings out all the data for us to use and not go start stuffing our faces with McDonald's French fries. So here's that clip.
Live Forever podcast. And I heard that there's a food that you find very unique to increase our lifespan. Tell us about that.
McDonald's French fries.
But I've always heard French fries are bad.
Oh, but that's because you just don't understand the biochemistry enough. All right?
Tell me.
McDonald's French fries are rich in an ingredient called TBHQ, which activates the NRF2 pathway, and that is involved in turning on genes that are involved in detoxification and eliminating reactive oxygen species, and it's been shown to increase autophagy, decrease fat. It also activates ACOX-1, which is the rate-limiting enzyme in fat oxidation, and it's been shown to extend lifespan and reduce the incidence of cancer.
Wow. So this whole time I've been avoiding French fries.
Now, what actually happened, by the way, all that stuff, I'll send you the
That's
citations.
true. So that's
all
real.
true. What I didn't tell you was the dosage you would need, you'd never get from eating French fries. And these were all done in rodent studies. Okay, so you can activate a pathway, big deal.
It is so important to know all the data. So for all those of you who thought that you were going to start even being able to crush some Mickey D's fries to live longer, sorry. Now, the last clip that I'm going to bring to you for this installment of Best of the Web is another medical, it's another health and wellness clip that I think is really important, because here's the thing. A lot of the data, now, if you know anything about the Jason Wright Show, you know that a lot of what we talk about on the show is health and wellness. And the closest thing I have to a hobby is trying to stay healthy. I actually have a business partner who is a precision health physician, Dr. Gus Vickery. You can listen to Authentic Health Fridays every Friday with Gus and I. We're actually partners in a supplement company for longevity with his proprietary formulations. That's not what this is about. But anyway, just to let you know, that is something that I really take a keen interest in. I think that if we're going to improve always and always, you got to start with your health, your wellness, get your mind, your body, all of it working and functioning properly. And then you can go out to the world and be as effective as possible. So with that, I think that one of the things that we've all got to get our brains around is that a lot of the things that I'm a Gen Xer, okay? So my parents were baby boomers, and the boomer generation got a bunch of bad information whenever they were coming up on how to take care of themselves. And that's why if you know anything about your mom, your dad, if you're my age, I'm 49, they are all popping so many pills. They've got heart pills. They're taking pills for cholesterol. They've got statins. It's just like it's full. I take zero medications, zero, none, nada. I don't take anything. I do take supplements, but I don't take any meds. And I think it's because a lot of the medical information that our parents were given back in the day was just wrong. I don't think there was any nefarious conspiracy. I know you'll hear a lot of people talk about the Rockefeller Foundation, and it was the Rockefeller Foundation that started funding the pharmaceutical industry so that they could have a reason to use oil for making pharmaceuticals. That all very well may be true. I don't know, but that's not what this is about, okay? That's not what we do on the Jason Wright Show. We don't talk about conspiracies. That's not it. So don't think that. But I found this physician, Dr. Boz, I think is her name. I'm going to find out more about her, try to get her on the podcast, because so far, I love her message. I haven't found anything that I disagree with. But she has a great message from the medical community, and she's making the bold leap of speaking for the entire medical community, which is always a kind of a scary thing to do. But nevertheless, I do think her message hits home. So I think that if you, and this is how I want you to use this clip. The next time you go to your primary care physician, start asking questions about integrative health. Start asking about what are the things that you can eat, the supplements you can take to do things like increase the chance of insulin sensitivity. If you don't even know what insulin sensitivity is and you're hearing this, go find out. It's very important, and go start talking to your physician about that. Because here's the deal. A primary care physician is under so much time pressure, bureaucratic and administrative work. They are in such a deficit of time when they see you and I that it's really hard for them to give us everything that they want to. That's why so many primary care physicians these days are in the business of diagnosing and prescribing, because they just don't have the time to really get precise with your health. And by the way, they're not health coaches. That's not what they're in the business of doing. So that's why I suggest to everyone, if you're not going to go to a precision health professional like my buddy Gus, who talks about these things, then go find out about health and wellness coaching, because so much of what we have been taught throughout the centuries and decades at this point is wrong about how to manage our health and wellness. And I just found Dr. Boz, and so I'm bringing this to you so that I can talk about what I've just said, that you got to get a little deeper if you really want to stay healthy and stay off the meds. But I thought it was kind of cool that there's this new doctor that I'm just, she may not be that new, maybe you've all heard about her. But I thought it was cool to discover her, and I thought, well, I would include her in the Best of the Web because, in my opinion, what she's saying is some stuff that could end up being some of the best messaging that we hear from the medical community. So here is that clip.
I'd personally like to apologize on behalf of the medical establishment for how poorly we advised you, especially if you're a baby boomer. You've had more surgeries than any previous generation. You used more prescription medications because of our packaged truth about those drugs. And we've cracked open your chests, opened your hearts, put you on statins, and stented more arteries than any generation before you. We did this instead of teaching you how to fix the problems that you were making. You were told, eat low fat, low meat, or you'll have a heart attack. If you listen to this mantra and you have a fear of all of these foods, I am sorry. That was the wrong advice.
So there you go, folks. That is the very first installment of the Jason Wright Show, Best of the Web, until I come up with something better to call it. Please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Leave some comments and tell me what I could do differently. And look, all credit I will put in the description is all the credit to the people that I got these clips from. I'm not trying to look. I know we recirculate and repurpose a lot of clips and a lot of content that other people create. I am very respectful of that. That's why I am trying to go and grab the content creators and that I think deserve priority in this vast sea of social media out there. These are the influencers. Again, I hate that term, but the professionals, the experts that I look to try to glean wisdom and experience and expertise on these topics. And so I want to try to use this segment as a way to aggregate those things for you so that you don't find yourself just mindlessly, scrolling all the time. I want to try to curate some of the best messages that I find on social media, because I am a firm believer that we are living in a time right now that is so amazing. I know we hear a lot of people talk about how bad things are and it's terrible. And, look, there is some bad things going on, but I'm going to adhere to Robert Greene's advice. I'm not going to complain about it. Instead, I'm going to talk about the silver lining that's there, which is this. We have more knowledge at our fingertips than at any other time in human history. You and I can be self-educators. There's so much that I can learn right here on the interwebs. You just have to know where to go and get the information. And that's what I want to do. I want to be someone that encourages you to be a self-educator. Go take advantage of all these unbelievable big brains like Lane Norton, Dr. Mike, Ryan Holiday, Charlie Munger. Charlie Munger has passed, but we can still go and hear him in his own words dispel advice to us. Warren Buffett, all these brilliant minds are out there and they're willing to share their knowledge, and you and I can benefit from that. So come back here. I guess I'll probably do this once a week. I don't know when I'm going to post these, but I hope you find them helpful. I hope you find them useful. And if you have something, please go to jasonrightnow.com, hit the contact sheet and say, hey, this is something I found. Maybe you want to include this on the Best of the Web. I would be so grateful, man. Let's work together. Let's find a way to get smarter and wiser and leverage this unbelievable content to make ourselves better as we try to improve always in all ways. I hope you found this useful. I'm Jason, and I'm out.